Okay, so the big buzz lately is this Robert Oberst and everyone making their response videos to this guy about, deadlifts are bad. You shouldn't do deadlifts. You don't see them in the college and professional weight rooms. So a little introduction to myself. My name's Eric Bugenhagen. I did wrestling as a kid. I'm talking about folk style, freestyle, and Greco-Roman wrestling. I was a folk style and Greco state champion. I was a freestyle All-American. I wrestled for the University of Wisconsin, the Wisconsin Badgers. I was in that program for 5 years, and then I did the strength conditioning for that program for 2 years after I graduated. So here's my response. Quick and informative, some insight, because all you're getting right now is a bunch of freaks and geeks responding about, well, technically, I think Robert might be correct, or I don't think Robert's correct because of this. Well, let me give you my experience here being an athlete. Oh, I'm also with NXT now. That's the third brand of WWE, potentially, and at the moment, the best brand of WWE. So you could say I'm a professional athlete or a professional sports entertainer, however you want to word it. So here's my thing. Robert Oberst, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, saying you shouldn't do deadlifts, you should do cleans and all that good stuff. Okay. So when I was at the University of Wisconsin, that's exactly what we did. We did cleans, right? We did power cleans. I felt terrible for what I've seen too. The form's absolutely horrendous. I'm certified in Olympic weightlifting. I did the USA weightlifting, whatever certification. Not that that means anything other than I had to go through a couple-day camp to get that. So I learned about all the technique and all the form and stuff. Here's the thing with Division I college programs. And I can't say this for every program, but this was the thing for my program at the time. And for my high school programs and all that. Yeah, cleans are great, right? Except the problem is people don't take the time. You don't take the weeks and the months and the years to fine-tune techniques. So what you end up getting is really terribly performed cleans that Robert's saying deadlifts they're more risk than reward. No, I think cleans are more risk than reward unless you're taking the time to properly execute the movement, which it's a skill movement, right? It's a skill movement. So unless you have the skill doing it, you can use brute force and terrible mechanics. And I don't see how that's any riskier than deadlifting. Deadlifting is a very simple lift. Cleans are very skilled lifts, not simple whatsoever. And that's why a lot of times when you see kids in the high school and the college weight rooms doing cleans, they're horrible, right? Their knees buckle in, they're super hyper extension, catching like so. They don't have the wrist, the mobility in the shoulders, in the lats, right? It's just, there's so many things to correct and so many cues to teach in order to properly utilize that lift. Now, whatever, that's not even the point. The point is I did these cleans. And you know what made me a better athlete and made me substantially stronger was when I started doing deadlifts. Deadlifts, yeah. When I was 22 to 23, I started doing deadlifts, and that made such a tremendous difference in my athleticism and strength and explosiveness. Not the cleans. The cleans just hurt, didn't feel good at all. And how long did it take me to learn deadlifts, right? A couple weeks to get, to have my mechanics down. How long did it take for me to properly do cleans? Never really happened, right? I even went through the courses and all that, and then I realized, it's not worth the time. The time I have to put into the benefits of doing it and the rewards of doing the Olympic movements, it's not worth it for me. And then on top of that, when I took over and did the strength and conditioning coaching for the Wisconsin Badgers wrestling program, I had people do deadlifts. All different variations of deadlifts. It wasn't just a conventional deadlift. So many people came to me and said, oh man, I feel so strong. I feel so much stronger now. Kids that wanted to put size on was so much easily put size on, right? The kids that didn't want to put size on, well, it's just, don't eat a surplus of calories. They just got stronger and stayed the same size. So for him to say that you see these in the weight rooms and deadlifts are so stupid, don't do deadlifts unless you want to, improve your deadlift. Otherwise, you should do cleans. That's just such a bold statement to make when you have such a broad viewership like that. right? The only reason I'm addressing this is because I'm seeing so many rebuttal videos, and I've seen that this podcast video or whatever has millions of views. Millions of views. Millions of people now are thinking, oh, yeah, I shouldn't do deadlifts. I should do these cleans. Let's see how those cleans work out for you. Let's see your gains. Let's see your technique. If you're gonna do those cleans, you might as well go through a whole boot camp, a whole USA Olympic weightlifting camp to learn how to do those cleans. Because I'll tell you, otherwise you're gonna get hurt and you're gonna make zero gains. That's just my experience being a Division I athlete and a professional athlete. And like I said, I'm in NXT, a third brand of WWE. Oh, trust me, we do deadlifts. What do we not do? We don't do cleans. So to make such a bold statement that you don't see these programs, these athletes, you don't see them do deadlifts, they just do cleans. No, that's, again, this is what a fallacy. Where does this logic come from? You make such a false statement to millions of viewers. Okay, and I'm not saying that cleans, again, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying the technique involved and the commitment and the time involved to do that. For what? You're looking at the risk of the lower back and all that. I think there's more at risk for doing cleans. Also, yeah, you have to use lighter weight for doing cleans than with deadlifts, but what kind of force are you putting in, right? Just think about, for a deadlift, it can move slowly, but that's not to mean that it's not going to work explosive, right? Fast twitch muscle fibers, because you're still trying to move the weight as fast as possible. So it's not like that's not going to carry over to explosiveness on the mat or on the field, right? Whereas you have a lighter weight, yeah, you can explode with it, but is that necessarily a good thing? I disagree with that. But like I was saying, it's just an irresponsible argument that holds no ground. Now, I'm not saying cleans are bad. Cleans are great. But when you're saying cleans over deadlifts, could you make any more of a generic statement on a giant podcast to millions of viewers? Here's what I like. Kettlebell cleans, kettlebell swings, kettlebell cleans, kettlebell snatches. Easier movements, right? Because it's a single limb, unilateral. So there's not this catching that requires this greater mobility, and it's a less skillful movement, but it's the same thing, right? Very explosive, dynamic movement. So if you want these lightweight, explosive movements, kettlebell stuff's good. Sandbag, that would be good, or like a strongman log or something like that. Those would be good cleans to do. But you gotta specify that, right? When you say cleans, people are automatically gonna think of barbell cleans. Just like when you say deadlifts. When you say deadlifts, people are gonna think of conventional deadlift. Like that's, when you say a deadlift, it's a conventional deadlift. So you're saying people shouldn't be doing deadlifts. Some people are gonna be like, oh, I should do these barbell cleans and I shouldn't do any deadlifts. But like, okay, say a conventional deadlift does bother you, right? What about a trap bar deadlift? Should they not do that? Like, you gotta specify trap bar deadlift. Tons of athletes do that. It's like one of the most beneficial things they can do in a program, in this strength conditioning program. Trap bar deadlift. How about a sumo deadlift? We're in a more upright position, not nearly as taxing on your lower back. It forms proper. There's just a lot of variations. You got to specify it. So that's another thing too. Like, you got to do cleans. They should never do deadlifts unless you want to get better at deadlifts. What kind of cleans? What kind of deadlifts? Where are you getting this information from? Okay, I think my point is clear. I've been through it, the strength and conditioning programs, the coaching. I've coached athletes. I've been coached. Cleans, deadlifts, and then I deviated from it because just like everyone in this box here, a clean is a clean with a barbell. A deadlift's a conventional deadlift. Like, I deviated from it. I said, oh, you know what? Yeah, these cleans are uncomfortable, but I'll do them with a sandbag, or I'll do them with a kettlebell, or I'll do them with a multi-grip bar. And you know what? Cleans are good. They feel good. They're easier to perform at that point. There's more benefit with less skill involved. It's an easier barbell, easier grip, easier position, just everything about it. And then, listen, you're talking to a guy that deviated from conventional deadlifts for years and years and years, and that's pretty much how I built my channel, was deviating from conventional deadlifts. And I would like to think, I'm 31 years old right now, that I'm a way better athlete and more explosive and stronger and bigger than I've ever been when I was 21 years old, not deadlifting and just doing power cleans with my Division I strength conditioning program. So again, my name's Eric Bugenhagen. I hope you enjoyed this chat. If you did, you probably like the golden tidbits I have stored in my brain and this hot knowledge. So, jump on board the Boogs Cruise, baby. Hit the subscribe button. I'll be like every other YouTuber. Hit that thumbs up. Make sure to leave a comment down below.